So I covered this 10 months ago, right? 10 months ago. Literally, if I scroll down this video, it is 10 months ago I covered this subject. And I kind of forgot about it. I think a lot of people did. You guys remember 10 months ago when Trey Henderickson wanted a new deal and he said either trade me or give me a new deal? But he also, there was also this thing that he was saying that he might do called retirement. I kind of forgot about it. I think a lot of people did as well. And it's kind of just like I was taking a shower last night, right? Enjoying myself. I'm going ahead and washing my hair. And then I'm thinking to myself, wait, hold up. Didn't Trey Henderickson, talk about the fact that he's thinking about retiring a year ago? Yeah. So this might be why on the low, the Bengals are also kind of weird about giving him a new contract. So this was a year ago. Hendrickson is hopeful the Bengals reconsider and give him a long-term deal. If not, he wishes to be traded. That was a year ago. Now, obviously, we're a year later, and, we're in a situation where the Bengals have told him he can go out and find a trade partner if he would like to. And now, back and forth negotiations going up and down. It's ironic that if we gave him a new contract a year ago, we would be in a better spot because this would be before Max Crosby's deal. This would have been before all these other deals, before the 17.5 sack season last year. All of these things would have been nullified right now if we just give him a deal. And it also says Trey Hendrickson's also considered retirement. More to come from the Inquirer. I will say, I think that this is not 100% why the Bengals are not giving him a new deal. I still think that they are thinking whatever he's asking for, which right now we know is well above $30 million a year. So could be anywhere from 32, 33 up to 35 million, right? Maybe 37 million. Maybe he wants Max Crosby deal. Who knows? But it's when a player a year ago, less than a year ago, does say that they're thinking about retiring and then says, but I want a long-term deal, I think the Bengals are getting this Geno Atkins type flashbacks, PTSD, because if you guys remember, we gave Geno Atkins a 4-year deal when he is 30 years old. He hit 30, we gave him a 4-year, I think it was $70 million deal. He retired after 2 years. He only played 2 years of that deal and then he retired. So I think the Bengals are low-key getting that kind of vibe where it's okay, this guy did technically, threaten to retire last year. He still wants a new deal. We are a year after that threat of retirement. Clearly, he's not going to get traded, okay? At the end of the day, there's only two things that could happen with the Trey Hendrickson news. One, he plays his final year on his contract, $18 million, and then he gets franchise tag for $26 million. That's option one. Option two, the Bengals give him a long-term deal. Those are the only two options. We're not going to trade him for anything less than a first or a first plus more, and no team's going to give us that. Because of the contract he wants, it limits the amount of teams that are interested in him because they can't afford him, and you have to be able to afford him to get trade for him, and it's just not going to happen. So because of that, we're kind of in limbo, and those are the only two options. Now again, I'm sure, as Duke Tobin said, data points will say that if a player threatened to retire a year ago, then this is definitely going to be an interesting situation. Whether or not you trust that he's going to be, able to play out the 4-year contract. I truly believe he will. Edge rushers usually can last up to 35, 36. Calais Campbell right now is 38 years old. Lordy, my man is still kicking it 38 years into it. So funny how the NFL has really conditioned us to think 38 years old is old, when reality-wise it's not. But for NFL terms, it is. But yeah, again, like I said, this is just something that I thought about last night. And I'm I kind of want to see what you guys are thinking too. I don't think this should really hinder him getting a new contract, in all honesty. I will still say I think anything above $30 million, I just there's just no way we're gonna pay him that. It's just, that's a lot of money. That's a crazy amount of money. Does he deserve it? Absolutely, yes, no doubt about it. But that is an insane amount of money. Over 30 plus million for a 30-year-old, I think is kind of crazy, especially when you look at the guys who just got signed recently. Not the new contracts, but I'm talking about from free agency, and they're getting what, 10 to 15 million. So, and I think if Von Miller gets signed, he'll probably sit at a ballpark range of like 10 to 15 as well. So we'll have to wait and see. He is the best in the league, but I've seen a lot of good comments down below, and I do want to kind of shout them out because you guys are making a lot of good points. That's why I always make these videos, to kind of bounce off what you guys are thinking. And I know Bengals Fandom 623 has made this point many times in these videos, is that, and I know Nate also made this point last night as well, and a couple other people, that Trey Henderickson is not good in run defense. He only plays like 60% of the snaps, and he's not really utilized in run defense. And when you compare his utilization ability to be utilized versus Max Crosby, versus TJ Watt, versus Myles Garrett, it's a lot less than those other guys because of the fact that he, again, isn't really a run defender. He's pretty much just a pure edge rusher, and that's it. Now, he does a really damn good job at it, and obviously he should get paid very handsomely because of it. But reality-wise, it's not like he can do everything. And, you know, you got someone, Max Crosby, that gets 37 million. He can do pretty much everything. He can do run defense. He can also pass rush, and he also plays like 90% of the snaps. So, again, it's different player, obviously, and that's kind of like the whole situation. I feel like when it comes to every player has a different archetype that they're really good at. And really all we see from Trey is he's a speed rusher, which is great. You know, that's what we need him for. But he's not all around like run stuff, or he's not a hybrid guy who can stop the run and the pass. So again, there is data points you got to put in when it comes to getting contract done. If I had to guess, and I said this since the beginning, I do not believe we will get a contract done. I do not believe we will. I think we will have him play out the last year of his contract, and we will then franchise tag him. That's where I see us heading, and that's where I see us, you know, like the path we're going to. And I don't think we're going to do anything else. Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it possible we, 180 that and we end up going ahead and signing him to a long-term deal? Absolutely. But I just don't see the way that they're going to do that, because again, they're going to look at how can we get Trey for the cheapest possible price tag, and the cheapest possible price tag is going to be, number one, $18 million this year, $26 next year, and then the year after that, you could sign him to a long-term deal or give him the $40 million if you wanted to. So those are the options that are the cheapest for the Bengals to try to get him, signed and with us for as long as possible, which again, I said this in my video last night, and I'll say it again, because if he does get injured or he does threaten retirement again, then the Bengals are not on the hook. And that's the last thing they want, is to be on the hook if this does go belly up. You want to, if situations like this goes belly up, it could really tank your team and your franchise for a good period of time. And they don't want to be in the losing end of that situation. So they're going to try to figure out whatever way they can to avoid that. And that's kind of what this is. It's called risk avoidance. It's something you learn in accounting, actually. I took in high school. Anyway, beside the point, guys, tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. See you guys next one.